Hello everyone, and let's talk about the endgame reveal for 4.0. Yes, the endgame has been revealed, or their plans for endgame. So what they said in the development blog post is, "Dear players, we are lazy bastards and could not be arsed making new content, so here is a bunch of old content." That is the gist of it. So they've made a few changes to the flashpoints. We'll talk about the flashpoints first, and then we'll get into the operations. So the biggest change to the flashpoint is that all of the story mode flashpoints are being converted to tactical, I guess. So leveling a tank, leveling a healer, waste of time these days from 10 to 65. Essentially that's what they've done, is remove tanking and healing from the leveling process. That is what they've done here. All the tactical flashpoints, the non-story tactical flashpoints, are going to be available at level 10. So at least you've got some choice there, I suppose. That's the good thing. The story flashpoints, the flashpoints that link to other flashpoints like Boarding Party and Foundry, for example, because they have a little story arc between them. Battle of Ilum, False Emperor as well, and of course the Republic too. They're going to get solo mode, so all of them are getting solo, and of course the other ones that already have a solo mode, like Blood Hunt, Battle of Rishi. Your character will be adjusted down to the appropriate level, which waste of time, really. So again, it is Time Walker, essentially. It's Time Walker, but it's Time Walker on your own. So, yeah, it's Time Walker flashpoints. I'm going to call them Time Walker. If you're offended by that, then I don't really care, to be honest, because that's what they are. I'm just being honest. Time Walker is what I'm going to call them. Your character will be scaled down, so yeah, Time Walker. And again, I don't know if they'll do what Final Fantasy XIV does with its level sync and get rid of your abilities, like grey out your abilities that you don't have. Or maybe they won't, because that's what Final Fantasy XIV does. I did that. I'm trying to use Thunder 2 in a low level one. If you see the video that I put up, I keep hitting Thunder 2, and it's like, why can't I use Thunder 2? And it's like, I've been scaled down to like level 14 from level 26. And you didn't have Thunder 2 at that point, so couldn't use it. Good idea. Good idea. Actually, an interesting idea. Probably they'll take the WoW approach, I imagine, of just scaling your stats down to whatever level. I guess it'll be the level of the flashpoint. What was it, 35 was Foundry? 30, between what, 35 and 39 or something like that, Foundry was. Boarding Party was like, 30 to 35, I guess. So I guess they'll do that for you. The tactical flashpoints, the rest of them, like your Hammer Stations, Athos, Mando Raiders, etc., they are going to be tactical. You will be bolstered. I guess you'll just be bolstered to 65, I guess. I don't know if they'll bolster you to... I guess they'll have to bolster everyone. So you can queue from them from 10 to 65, so at least you shouldn't be short of players, I suppose. That's the good thing about it. And it's not as though you're going to get bored like Kuat Drive Yards. Kuat Drive Yards is there, if you want it. But all of them are there. So, I mean, there is issues with the story, I guess. I mean, a lot of these ones are self-contained story. I guess, like getting Zerka Core Meltdown before Zerka Corporate Labs, for example. I'm surprised they didn't put them in as the solo mode, but they're not on the list, because Corporate Labs comes first, and then Core Meltdown. So what if you get Depths of Manan first, and then... So I don't know how they'll do that, really, to be honest. They are going to have a rotational group finder for the ops, but yeah... So you're going to have a lot of options while leveling. So, I mean, you're also going to get loot specific to your class, is what they've said. So it'll be non-bolstered levels. So I guess they're implementing the personal loot system, which is good. It's good to see that, because I wondered how they were going to handle loot. It makes sense, though, because giving, like, level 25 chest piece to someone who's level 62 wouldn't make any sense. It would be no use to them unless the item would scale, unless it was just like WoW and they just gave you 660 item level with that. But then again, I think in WoW it scales as well, actually. If you're end game, it's 660. If you're leveling, it's appropriate, because in WoW you can do the level appropriate Time Walker dungeons above. I think it was above level 70 you had to be to do the Burning Crusade ones. With SWTOR it'll be 10 to 65. So yeah, that's going to be the biggest things in hard mode flashpoints are getting a change. Basically, it's every single flashpoint. Haven't counted them all, but it is a lot, really. Lost Island's there. Please unnerf Lost Island. Please take it out of the group finder. So the hard mode flashpoints are going to be... Red Reaper is going to be available as well. So technically we got something new. We got one new flashpoint. One new flashpoint will be available. So they start at level 50 and scale up to 65. And you will get bolstered, so level ranges are going to play together. You do still need a group with tank and healer, but are we going to get any tanks or any healers? What they should do is change the group finder to at least change the roles, or have the roles need, like, have priority. Like, if they need tanks, give tanks, tell us, oh, we need tanks, because then I could log a tank and queue as a tank, and give the tank some extra rewards would be quite nice. It's similar to what they do in Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft, because we're going down that road of endgame now. We are going for that kind of end game. So again, it would be nice if the group finder said, like, tanks needed, so I'll log a tank, or healers needed, log a healer. And, you know, it would help you. It would help you find out what we need, essentially. And give us extra rewards. So it's going to start at 50 and go to 65. So I guess it's going to be difficult, I guess, to balance for that. So are we going to get most of our abilities then at level 50? Because, you know, having a level 50 healer who maybe doesn't have, I don't know, Colto Waves, because you don't get Colto Waves as a Scoundrel healer to level 57. It's going to be difficult to do some HM flashpoints without Colto Waves, unless they give you them. I don't know, because it's 15 levels in between that, 50 to 65. You know, it's a lot of levels there. Don't know about the rewards. They haven't really said. I guess that they're gonna do, said small bolster to play together, but you'll need to bring a tank and healer. We will get the individual loot as well. Please put Rakata gear back in the game. Please don't put the cartel crap in. I want Rakata stuff. Rakata stuff looked cool. Kalumi stuff looked cool. I know it's in the cartel market, but put it in there. Just for the cosmetic value would be very, very nice. So yeah, they are, again, they're not really closing the gap between tactical and hard. They've not really said how they're going to have that gap, because you're going to level from 10 to 65 with tactical flashpoints being the only option now. There's no Trinity group content, so how do I learn how to play a tank? How do I learn how to play a healer? Tactical flashpoints, which, you know, they provide healing stations, they provide, you know, they're not going to have things that need to be tanked. I'd imagine they're just going to get nerfed in, like Mandalorian Raiders. Are we going to have one person take the boss away while the other three kill the dogs? I don't know, is that going to work? But I want to learn how to tank. That's the whole point of these early flashpoints. So we might create a situation at endgame where we need tanks and healers to do content, and the same situation that we're in right now, but there's very few of them. Very few people wanting to tank and heal. Pug groups, essentially. That's what concerns me about these flashpoints. That's the biggest concern with them, is there's no reason to level a healer anymore. There's no reason to level a tank. So how are we going to encourage people to be tanks and healers? We need to put some sort of tutorial in at endgame. I said it in a previous video. I said I wanted proving grounds in SWTOR. I said I wanted, you know, something to act as a tutorial. Maybe even use the Revan fight, because the Revan fight's a great example. It's already in the game. You've already got the companions there that play different roles. You've got, you know, Mar as a tank. I think I said Malik there. Mar is your tank. You know, Lana and what's her face, Sutil are healers. You know, and you've got Jakara as a tank as well. But you've got, you know, you Theron's a DPS, Shay's a DPS. So you've got all the roles there. It just needs the coding, really, and, you know, a bit of a tutorial, and just put a bit of risk to it would be nice for that Revan fight. Right, so we'll move on to operations. Operations, 8 and 16 player operations. All of the operations are going to be available at level 65, and they're going to go for this rotating group finder every single day. The group finder is going to tell you what you can do. Kind of sucks, really, to be honest with you. I wish they would get rid of that. Just give us all the ops available. So there are 10 operations in 2 difficulties, so there's essentially 20 raids. If you count, 3 difficulties. They're going to add Nightmare later. So there you go, 30 raids available at endgame. Is that enough for you? Is that enough? Now, interestingly here that they've got Golden Fury down, but not the Colossal Monolith. Really? Yeah. That's why there's 10. It should be 11, nearly. Maybe there'll be 11. But yeah, Golden Fury, did it count as a boss back in the day? Did it count as a raid? Yeah, it did, because it dropped tier pieces. And same with Colossal Monolith. If it drops tier pieces, it counts, because it's on the progression curve. That's the thing. It's not like the Yavin world boss, which doesn't drop any tier pieces. It's not on the progression curve then. So yeah, I mean, Golden Fury story mode dropped Arcanian, hard mode dropped Underworld. So yeah, you could use it for gearing for progression. So it's going to be, yeah, there's going to be story mode, Group Finder, the quality of life improvements to Operation Group Finder. So it's going to make it a better, more engaging experience. Every day a new story mode operation will be available. And it will drop relevant gear for your character. I guess we're going the personal loot mount, the personal loot route, should I say? Route? Who cares? Yeah. So, operation, every operation will drop a new tier of Elder Game gear, as well as new vanity mounts. So I guess it's going to be 1 tier for story mode, 10 raids, take your pick. At least there's plenty of choice this time, at least you won't get stuck doing TOS and Ravagers. So I guess at least that's one good thing about it, I guess. Bad thing is that we are going to kill Soa again, and Kephis. At least unnerf EC and unnerf EV. Put EV back to where it was, because EV hard mode was kind of tough back in the day. EV Nightmare was tough as well. Doing Guards was always tough if you had melee. Back in the day, you know, back when we had Kalumi gear, that was tough. Interesting challenge. It's going to be fun to see. Maybe we'll get dot specs back, because dot specs were awesome on Guards. Madness, come on. Bring that madness hype back. Really, we really need madness back, to be honest. Bring that madness. Remember that. Getting madness sorks and lethality snipers, because you lost a lot of uptime on him when you were moving from platform to platform, and dot specs could have their dots up while he's moving and he could still take damage. Of course, we can move and channel things at the same time, so it's going to be fun to see fights like that, how they scale them. There's going to be new rewards, new mounts, new vehicles, new decorations at least. So story mode is going to be playable 50 to 65 and have bolster as well. So I will once again be the ancient Rakatan warlord who threatens to take over the galaxy. Yeah, he failed the first time. So are they going to change it to, if we're, say we're in Carbonite for 20 years, 20,020 years, are they going to give him an extra line of dialogue maybe? Although I suppose 20 years is nothing if you waited 20,000 years, I guess. What's that? It's nothing to him, really. He's not been waiting a long time. He's been there, you know. So it's going to be interesting. Again, you can level doing operations. Which I guess, if the Knights of the Fallen Empire story turns out to be a dud, you can always level through raids, I suppose. That's the one good thing about it. So you will get level appropriate gear. Please bring back the old tier sets. Put the old Kalumi sets in. I don't care if they've got crappy mods in them. I don't care if they've got no mods in them. I just want them. I just want them because they look nice. The tier sets look nice back in the day. I just really want them. So there will be a nightmare mode. It's going to reward the same as the highlighted hard mode. Now hard mode, there's going to be an operation highlighted to give greater rewards. So the goal is that you won't sit and farm the easiest one. I guess that's it. So it's give you a reason to visit all the operations. And I guess it's good. It's going to prevent things like burnout if we haven't already got burnout. So for new players, it's good. So yeah, there's some positivity for you. It's a good thing for new players. So yeah, you can do them. I take it gear will be irrelevant for the story mode ones, I guess, if you're getting bolstered. Although you get bolstered now and people still complain about gear, so yeah, maybe not. So it's going to be hard mode operations are, so they're going to have one highlighted. They haven't said what the reward is going to be, whether it's going to be worthwhile. Is it going to be an extra gear piece? Is it going to be extra comms? Is the comm gear going to be useful? I take it the commendations will probably stay the same. I imagine you'll get your ultimates and elites, and the elites will be useless. So your elites and ultimates will probably convert back to basics, as they did with Shadow of Revan. I guess they'll do that because you know they've got the commendation system in place. Although the gear reward that the commendations provide has got to be improved and has got to be at least competitive, and it's got to be in comparison to the difficulty of content that we're doing to get them. You know, there's no point in getting Masashi Mark 1. We need to avoid that situation, I think. Many players love our operations, look forward to introduction of new challenges. Our Knights Fallen Empire will not be any new operations. Yeah, we're lazy bastards. Felt important to address some of the issues of the Elder game before moving on to new content. Changes will allow us to be more flexible in how we release new content, as the content no longer needs to be tied to a gear tier or level cap increase. Oh, is this the last level cap increase then? So there's going to be a whole lot. There is a lot of content, to be fair. There's 10 raids, 3 difficulties. So there's 30 raids, if you want to call it that. If you're being optimistic, 30 raids worth of content to get through. So, you know, it's hopefully we'll avoid burnout. But the problem is, every single raid on that list I've done it. You know, we've done it at least story mode. Most of them, apart from Ravagers and TOS, completed them all in hard mode. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the raiding community. So what do you think? Do you think, is it going to make you stick around for Knights of the Fallen Empire? I'm going to stick around a bit like launch. I want to see how it plays out. I want to see, hopefully we do get personal loot. I really want to see personal loot in this game. I think it would be a huge improvement. It would stop us having the pug group where we kill the boss, which is an achievement in itself in a pug group, and then we have 20 minutes of arguing over gear. Personal loot. Whoever gets the gear gets the gear. It's pure RNG. The RNG takes place in the background. There's nothing we can do about it. Quit complaining. Move on. And then you don't blame other players for getting the loot, at least. You blame the RNG system. So you're blaming BioWare. It's BioWare's fault I didn't get any loot. Even though it's just the same system, really. But the loot roll's invisible. Although keep for hard mode, I guess, and I guess for guild runs, it would be nice to keep the master looter as an option. Because it's nice to say, hey, can I have this piece of loot? I did that on a run in the live stream I did the other day. Where I said, hey, can I have the earpiece? And, you know, nobody objected, so I got the earpiece. So, you know, I needed that because it was the only non-resurrected piece that I had. And because that character does progression, then, you know, you get things like that in guild. So it'd be nice to have those options in guild. But they haven't stated it's a personal loot system, but the thing, I believe, hopefully they will put a personalized loot system in. Because we don't want ninjas. The only people who are against personal loot are ninjas. That's it. That's how you know you're a ninja. You know, for group finder stuff, I think, yes, put it in the game. Put it in the game, definitely. For hard mode, let guilds decide how they want to divvy up the loot, I guess. Have the option there for master loot, etc. or round robin, or whatever, you know, loot system. Because guilds tend to have their own loot system, tend to just use master loot. And then they have whatever systems, Suicide Kings, DKP, whatever, SDK, whatever the hell, SK, whatever, I can't remember what the other one's called. Or random, as we do. Fuck it, everybody roll, whoever wins it wins it. Stop arguing, get on with the next boss. So anyway, thank you for joining me for this video. There you go, what do we think of the new raids? Are you gonna stick around? I'd probably stick around at launch and see what it's like, just to have a go at it. Think I might main a Guardian though, just for fun in 4.0. So anyway, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again soon, and goodbye.